at the scene. Speaking to CNC3 News, Police Road Safety Coordinator Brent Batson expressed concerns about the fatalities. Just Friday, Habib John of Barrackpore was killed when a van ran off the road and plowed into him. He was walking with his neighbor Anne-Marie Cudgerton Mitchell home. She was taken to the San Fernando General Hospital, nursing broken bones. The National Council for Indian Culture has appointed Suraj Mangru as its new president following the death of Senator Dirup Timal on August 3rd. In a press release, the NCIC said Mangru, who has served the organization for nearly 30 years, will build on Timal's work by advancing youth development and enhancing culture awareness. His plans include empowering young people to embrace and celebrate their heritage to ensure Indian traditions continue to thrive. Those were your 6 a.m. news headlines. We'll have another news update at the top of the hour right here on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network.
The Morning Brew is brought to you by Omega XL. Live long, stay strong.
You can't party like which. Let it play, let the fan play. Hey! I chipping in this morning. Normally I run in, but this morning and I'm not chipping. Happy World Steel Band Day, Trinidad and Tobago and the wider world. Yes, it's a beautiful day indeed. Today, Monday, the 11th of August, 2025, a day designated and set aside globally to recognize the instrument born right here in Trinidad and Tobago, our steel pan. Again, good morning, welcome. And because it's World Steel Pan Day, lots of interviews and discussions dedicated to our national instrument, the instrument that we were able to share with the entire world. Details coming up in a short, but let me again bid everyone a happy Monday. Jason Williams signing on. I'm here with the team and we go until 8 a.m. Let me tell you, we are actually getting ready, not only World Steel Pan Day, I think it's actually fitting that we get into our independence momentum on this very historic day, a day that we celebrate a musical instrument that, again, out of the roots, the belly of Trinidad and Tobago, the world embraces this instrument. I was watching on one of the international news agencies, there is a steel pan festival in South Africa. You can believe that? All South Africa. The next corner of the earth, all Australia, we have pans. So listen to me. It's tremendous. And with that being said, 63, literally around the corner, we get ourselves ready for our independence celebrations. And we will have discussions leading up to that very, very beautiful day. It's going to be a Sunday this year. Are we going to get the Monday off? If the Sunday, well, we don't really get off. We still come out nonetheless, but I'm asking for the rest of the nation. I'll probably try to get an answer to that later on. Inside the program this morning, we get a chance to talk about the first 100 days of the UNC administration. Dr. Shane Mohammed will join me for that discussion. Then later on, Beverly Ramsey Moore, president of Pan Trinbago, will touch base with us. We have the marketing manager, one of the leads there at Bermudez Biscuits. They have a limited steel pan, tin pan edition in time for World Steel Pan Day. And inside that Bermudez segment, with our friends who come in to talk about the Crick Span, there's going to be a giveaway. So look out for that. We're going to open the lines, and then we're going to wrap things up later on, close the show in style with the sound of our steel pan, our national instrument, from one of the players out of the Desperado Steel Orchestra. It's action-packed, we are good to go, and we are, again, wishing you and yours a great, not only Monday, but a week ahead. Let's head to The Guardian, some really hard news to unpack this morning. And again, we had Batson on, literally, that's the TTPS Road Safety Coordinator, on literally a couple of days ago. And he was, putting out the call, making that clarion call for motorists to pace themselves, to be diligent. And we find ourselves with a weekend where 5 people lost their lives on the black carpet. In some cases, it would have been vehicular accident, some other cases too. We heard of people being knocked over, one in Trin City, one in the vicinity there of El Socorro, people trying to cross the highway. At least the El Socorro scenario was somebody trying to cross the highway with their wife. And, you know, I'm looking at the footage last night on the news, and literally meters away, yet again, we ask ourselves why people don't use the walkover. The walkover is there, it's built for this same exercise. We're watching the young man here who would have gone with some friends, and oh my gosh, that's Adrian and Rondell. Really, really sad story. Apparently the mom blames, again, this is not my particular claim, this is the mom of the deceased. She says drunk driving was the reason for the loss of her son. This accident took place in Chaguanas. You can see the mom is just dejected, the shoulders low, a blank stare, and a parent having to say goodbye to a child. It's unnatural. I always talk about that every single, well, not every day obviously, but whenever the scenarios like this come up, the natural order is for us, the children, to say goodbye to the parent. But when the parent, you raise this child, you bring this child through the kindergarten process, primary, secondary, you get them into adulthood, and having to say goodbye for something that, well, many could say would have been avoidable, but then, you know, sometimes whoever you prescribe to, you know, whoever, you know, because we have so many different beliefs within the country, but once there is a belief of a higher power and a higher source, I guess these, as harsh and as hard as this is, you can't question these moments. I mean, this was probably their time, but at the same time, we have to recognize that sometimes, I'm using time a lot, it could be avoided, especially on the nation's road. We need to pace ourselves. And again, in the case of the man who, I don't know if you have that story there, Sheldon, if you go further into that particular story, you literally saw meters away, the walkover is right there, and I'm still seeing people taking chance, running across the highway with bicycle. I mean, when you see your shoes off, you know it's a wrap. For some reason, we have seen accidents in the past where people, they're hit by a vehicle, and shoes, for some reason, I guess that's to show you the force of the impact. So again, here's a reminder for all of us, including myself, because when I make these recommendations, I also try my very best to follow and to lead by example and to be the change I want to see and to also practice what I preach. I can be talking this and you see me running across a highway. How it go look? I mean, I'm not taking a chance at all. Not going through it. The last time, myself, I think Nikisha, we went down to the Diwali Nagar for Diwali celebrations. That could have been, what, 2-3 years ago, Nikisha, if you recall. And I normally would park on the northbound, and I will take the the walkover. It's a little walk, but it's safe. Condolences to all those family members and friends of the deceased. We send our love to you this morning. Also, I saw a story over the weekend. A matter of fact, I think it was on Friday. This one broke my heart. Again, as a parent, as a father of a son, it's your worst nightmare. You're sending your child to just get a checkup. They're going in with a cough, and the young man is no more. This story really captured the heart of the entire nation. And because of, I guess, not wanting to take or accept the result of the autopsy, they went for a second opinion. And the second opinion contradicts what was established by the hospital. And the parents of Joshua, young Joshua Francois, I mean, I saw the mom, the dad, I must say, the dad held a particular strength, even the mom too, but there was a moment where, you see that moment where she broke down? I nearly lost it. I felt it. It hurt me at the core. You felt the pain, you heard it in the mom's voice. And to Yannick and Aaron Francois, it's a very difficult moment. But again, I'm happy you all went for that secondary, that second opinion. Even the Prime Minister weighed in on this particular development. And we just need to, at least families and friends of Yannick and Aaron, you have to really hold them at this point in time and really just give them that extra strength as they go forward. Condolences there again. We head to the back page, a couple of stories to touch on before we get into our first discussion. TNT earns a relay bronze. That's right. Swimmers win first medal at the Pan Am Juniors. I think that's out in Paraguay. And we're seeing some of the members of the hockey team also representing. Also, Kevin Molino named Player of the Season in the TNT Premier League. As a matter of fact, I hosted the function on Saturday. I don't have much time this morning. I'll get into some of the action from that function. If not during the phone call segment today, we'll try and get that done tomorrow, because I want to indeed spend a little time on what I would have observed and what's my hope going forward for not only the Premier League, but Trinidad and Tobago's football. And it's something I'm very passionate about. There's certain things I'm passionate about. You realize by now, firstly, country. This Twin Island state, Trinidad and Tobago, very passionate about my home. Of course, culture, the music. I'm a culture man. And indeed, football. A couple other things too, obviously. Many interests. But those are things that really I go with heart. I go with heart sometimes. Sometimes heart, more heart than mine. But I go with heart when it comes to my country, when it comes to culture, and it comes to beautiful game, football. We are to the brief on this Monday morning, World Steel Pan Day 2025. And yes, in that regard, the opposition leader wants steel pan in every school. That story here develops on page 3. And you're seeing some action here from the Pan Trinbago. They had a nice Pan Jamboree, again hosted by the Ministry of Culture and Community Development. Pan Trinbago got involved with the hosting of this, and this went down on the Harris Promenade in San Fernando on Saturday. And you're also seeing some action with the BP Renegade Steel Orchestra performing at Pan Trinbago's Steel Pan Jamboree. Another jamboree. This one took place at BP Renegade's Panyard, Charlotte Street, Port of Spain on Saturday night, last Saturday. So the place was alive with steel pan over the weekend, and we get into some of the steel pan discussions. On a quick regional development, Haiti is going into a 3-month state of emergency to curb gang violence in Port-au-Prince. And as we head north, next door to Haiti, right below Haiti, our neighbors, our big brothers and sisters up north in Jamaica, nomination day is next Monday, Monday the 18th, and their election is carded for Wednesday, the 3rd of September. JLP and PNP will take, again, either or, head-to-head, and Jamaica will decide whether they're going to give JLP a unprecedented 3rd term. They've been in power since 2016, or if they're going to change leadership, change direction, and go with the PNP. So again, we monitor the elections in Jamaica, carded for Wednesday, 3rd September. Very important trading partner, very important family member on this, our Caribbean family tree. All the best to our friends there in Jamaica land we love. We take a quick pause, we come back. The Boss Report, it's up next. Sarut gets into the movement of the dollars, the bonds, the stocks. Boss Report up next.
For 40 years, we've moved with you, pushed with you, transformed with you. From the first rep to your best step, from your first class to your biggest win, Fitness Center has been your partner in power. Built on sweat, driven by passion. 4 decades in, and we're just getting started. Celebrate 40 years with us. Fitness Center, 40 years strong. Transform your body, transform your life.
Seeing her succeed makes me proud, and I know I made the right choice by giving her Enfogrow since she was little. Knowing that 85% of brain growth will occur by age 3, Enfogrow's blend of ingredients such as DHA helps support your toddler's brain development and contains 22 nutrients to support their diet or nutrition. Enfogrow, what you do today will last forever. This product is not intended to be a substitute or complement to breast milk.
Discover a breakthrough in healthcare at Liberty Medical Center, where expert care is affordable. See top specialists in endocrinology, diabetes care, dermatology, psychiatry, psychology, urology, obstetrics, and gynecology. We offer ultrasounds, x-rays, and ECGs. With full diagnostic services, an in-house pharmacy, and compassionate care, you'll leave feeling better than you came in. Visit us at 154 Pointe-a-Pierre Road, San Fernando, or call 610-4562. Liberty Medical Center. Your health, our mission. Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488, 701-6680, 728-6786, or visit our website to order.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Sportsmanship is when an athlete walks off the court and you can't tell if he won or lost because he carries himself with pride either way. This quote is an embodiment of sport, and for me, sport is an embodiment of life. We are where you are.
That's right. Sarud is going to join us to break down some developments with two of the banking giants. It's your boss report, and Sarud is up next. Good morning, Sarud.
Good morning, JW, and good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to the Boss Report. Well, today we're taking a look at some financial results which are starting to roll in. And today we're looking, of course, at two of the banking giants, the locally grown banking giants. We, of course, we're speaking about Republic Financial Holdings Limited, as well as First Citizens Group Financial Holdings. That's quite a mouthful, but let's just call them First Citizens for the time being. Now, both groups would have reported improved earnings, which would come as welcome news to shareholders and investors, particularly in a very dynamic regional and local environment. Let's take a look at what these both groups would have produced and what investors might expect ahead. Turning firstly to Republic Financial Holdings, or RFHL. For that 9-month period ended June 30th, 2025, the group would have reported an earnings per share figure of $9.19, a 1.8% increase from the $9.03 recorded in that prior comparable period. Now, driving this performance was a very credible improvement in net interest income, which increased just about 7.6% from $3.76 billion to $4.04 billion. Operating income also increased overall 7.9% from $5.234 billion to just about $5.65 billion. Overall operating profits improving that 9.4% from $2.36 billion to $2.58 billion, with net profit attributable to equity holders ultimately improving that 1.6% from $1.48 billion to just about the $1.5 billion mark. So certainly good news, despite a very modest increase in earnings per share, but overall continued positive trajectory in terms of profitability for RFHL. Now, when you take a look at revenue trends, continues to be upward and strong, with that movement again in terms of net interest income up to 7.6% from $3.76 billion to just over $4 billion. Other income as well also increasing just under 9% from $1.47 billion to just about $1.6 billion. Overall, again, that 7.8 to 7.9% increase, which is actually an acceleration from the 4.5% increase in total income that would have taken place in the prior comparable period when compared to the 9 months of 2023. Now, when we take a look at Republic, again, this graph really illustrates the diversification and increasing diversification of Republic's profit before tax contributions and again before eliminations. And we can see that there were some notable changes in terms of Trinidad and Tobago. There was a 25% decline in terms of PBT contribution, again before eliminations, from $2.56 billion to $1.9 billion. However, this was offset by improvements in all of the other jurisdictions, or most of the other jurisdictions across the region. Barbados, for example, increasing in that bluish segment from 192 to 262 million, or roughly 36% increase. Suriname from 64 to 119 million, or roughly an 85% increase. Eastern Caribbean holding stream from roughly at what it was in the prior comparable period, around 210 million. Guyana up 20% from 277 to about 331 million. Ghana up impressive 43% from 101 to 145 million. Cayman Islands dipping just a bit, just about 11% from 365 to 325 million in that darkish green segment, and the British Virgin Island segment improving from 65 to 70 odd million. So overall, again, before eliminations, there was some notable changes overall in terms of profit before tax, roughly a 5% increase from 2.16 to 2.27 billion. Now, from a valuation perspective, Republic continues at its current share price to offer some quite attractive valuations for a long-term investor, trading at a price-earnings multiple of 8.9 times, which is just below the banking sector average of 9.3 times, and with a very juicy dividend yield, if you want to put it that way, of around 5.2%, which is at the higher end of the banking sector dividend yields. And in fact, across most of the market, it's one of the more attractive and perhaps reliable dividend yields that dividends that investors might have come to expect. So again, trading at that price of $110.57. And with those valuations in mind, we just went through them, the price earnings ratio and that dividend yield, which is above the sector average of 4.8%. And keeping that higher and persistent revenue growth in mind, modest earnings growth, that continued geographical diversification, as well as those relatively attractive dividends, BOS is maintaining its overweight rating with a stable outlook on Republic for the time being. Turning very quickly to First Citizens, or FCGFH, well, the group would have reported an earnings per share figure of $2.85 again for their 9-month period ended June 2025, a 5.2% increase from that $2.71 recorded in the prior comparable period. Now, attributable or driving this performance was that net interest income increase of 2.1% from 1.52 to 1.55 billion. Overall net revenues increased a more modest 3.5% relative to Republic of 2.04 billion, from 2.04 billion rather to 2.11 billion. Overall, however, operating profits increased 8.5% from 910 to 987 million, with profit after taxes increasing that 5.1% from 684 million to just under 720 million. Now, when we take a look at PBT contributions by segment, again, before eliminations, we can see it was pretty much consistent. There was a roughly 9% or 12% rather decline, or 9% decline rather, from 43 to 39 million in terms of PBT contribution from the trustee and asset management segment, a roughly 11% decline from 475 to 419 million in treasury and investment banking contributions to PBT. This was offset partially by that improvement in retail and corporate banking, which would have improved from 769 to 805 million, a roughly 4.7% increase there over the comparable periods. Now, when we take a look at FCGs, or First Citizens rather, asset composition, we can see some quite notable changes over the last 9-month period of 2024 to its current period, 9-month 2025. There was a roughly 11% increase in total loans to customers from 21.2 to 23.6 billion, with an almost 30% increase in its investment holdings, increasing from 12.8 billion to 16.5 billion. And this was funded, of course, by some deterioration in its cash position, a decrease in its cash position, so optimizing its balance sheet overall, with an ultimately roughly 10% increase in total assets over those comparable periods. So FC, or First Citizens rather, is improving in terms of its balance sheet optimization, which is, of course, contributing to a large degree to its improved profitability over those comparable fiscal periods. And from a valuation perspective, again, FC, or First Citizens rather, is trading at a price earnings ratio of 10.6 times, which is slightly above the sector average of 9.3 times, as we mentioned, but it does offer undisputedly the highest dividend yield right now of just under 6% when compared to the rest of the banking sector, and indeed the banking sector average of 4.8%. So with that modest revenue growth in mind, those improving earnings, and of course that attractive dividend yield, any way you look at it, again, relative to the banking sector or overall relative to the stock market in total, BOS is going to maintain its overweight rating on First Citizens for the time being with a stable outlook. Well, that's it for this week's edition. For more information, you can give us a call at 2BOS or 226-8773. email us at info@bossfinancial.com. And of course, you can check out our website where all of our research is absolutely free at bossinvestment.com. And you can catch this article in today's business section of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper. So until next time, stay safe, happy investing, and we'll see you again on the Boss Report.
Your heart does so much for your body, your life, your loved ones. But modern stress, diet, and lifestyle can tip the balance, especially with every passing day. Heart XL delivers high-potency omega-7 palmitoleic acid from sustainable pollock oil to elevate HDL and support a healthy metabolism.
Inflammation and low HDL put your heart at risk. Heart XL's omega-7 helps reduce C-reactive protein and support healthy HDL, keeping your heart strong.
Heart XL. Nourish your heart. Sustain your life.
Big ambition starts with clear vision. This back-to-learning season, Rera Optical has eyewear packages for every learner. For kids 15 years and under, get a free frame with lenses starting at just $495. Scholars, it's time to level up your look with frame plus lenses from $750. Lifelong learners, purchase any frame $1,099 plus and unlock up to 30% off premium lenses like Eisen, Varilux, and Transitions in 8 bold colors. And don't miss your chance to win a $1,500 learning supply voucher or transition lenses when you purchase any eyewear package. Ferrera Optical, big ambition, clear vision. Visit us in store today. This promotion is NOCB approved.
Food Basket Marketplace is celebrating our 34th anniversary for the month of August, and you're invited. Enjoy massive deals like minced beef, 5 pounds and $99. Cow heel, 5 pounds at $79.95. Nestle cream milk, 4 for $54.95. Crown, 8 kilograms rice, $69.99. Come and shop to win one of our 34 shopping sprees. Big giveaways and free hampers to be won. Shop, save, and celebrate only at Food Basket Marketplace, Orima, Chaguana, Shafle, and Goville. Food Basket, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
So I hear Better Homes has the best kitchens.
You heard right. We have Shaker style, modern Euro, and hardwood.
I like this one. Can I test it right here, right now?
Sure, but how are you gonna do that?
All right, you all, come inside. Are you ready?
Time to live. Oh, a spice rack.
Soft closed door hinges. Oh, this countertop's nice, well. It's hot, you know.
So, what do you think?
Well, this 100%.
Is it.
I'll take it.
Build the kitchen you love for less at Better Homes, Caroni or French Street.
Get a loan at Bremont. The process is simple. Fast and efficient approvals. Receive funds within 24 hours once approved. And no penalty for early repayment. Located at 4 Gallas Street, Woodbrook. Remember, we like to lend.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Move from CXC to your business management degree in just over 2 years with the globally and ACTT recognized ABE qualification at CTS College. Students with limited CSEC passes or mature candidates with work experience can enroll. Each level can be completed in under 6 months, with a diploma awarded upon completion of each level and a bachelor's degree awarded at the end of the entire program. Contact CTS College today and ask about our flexible payment terms.
To bring some perspective to UNC's 100 days in office, we welcome Dr. Shane Mohammed, political scientist, political analyst. Myself and Dr. Mohammed, we could talk politics for hours. We were actually getting into some regional discussions before we got on live, but we're going to keep it home for now. I guess if there's some time, we can dabble a little bit with Guyana and Jamaica to the end. But again, Dr. Mohammed, I want to thank you for the time, and let's get into the discussion. As always, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
All is well, all is well. I can't wait because I'm looking at some of the key, I guess, policy positions thus far. We have seen the expansion of the Children's Life Fund, the holding back, or at least the adjustment of the demerit point system. Many people are very happy in that regard. We have seen the public consultations on the Stand Your Ground, even though we're getting different, I guess, arguments and rhetoric from those people leading that discussion, so we could expand on that later on. Some wins, but there are also some, probably say losses, because indeed, you know, the new government came in under the mandate of creating new jobs, but we have seen where jobs are being put on the back burner, especially in the CPEP scenario. So walk me through it. The first 100 days, the good, the bad, the ugly, and more so, we could officially say the honeymoon is over. It's business time now.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. The honeymoon is over. We never thought that 100 days would fly so quickly, but such as you know, that's how it is. In terms of wins and in terms of goods, I think we continue to see a government that operates in cycles, in cyclical and in clusters. We're not seeing ministers operating in silos. And one would have thought that this was just a new thing where the government ministers were mandated to speak only on their own matters for a short period of time. You know, one would have said, well, it's only a matter of time because before someone bats outside of the crease, and we did go back to business as usual. And just recently we saw when questions were asked about the airport in Tobago, Minister John was talking about the process by which Tobago, the A&R Robinson new terminal, stands underneath her purview as Minister of Works and Infrastructure, and when the works that are required will be completed, will be handed over to the Airports Authority and the Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation, and then he will determine, depending on the licensures and the certifications and whatnot, when the opening of that airport will happen. So you see ministers not wanting to talk outside of their remit and speak on another person's behalf, unless that is that they are acting, and then if they're acting, it's very limited. That's one. We saw where the Minister of Works and Transport, the Minister of Works and Infrastructure, together with the Minister of Local Government, the Minister of Agriculture, were working together to deal with drainage issues from a national level, from a municipal corporation perspective. That is one thing. We see where there's a cluster of ministers on a legislative perspective, led by the Attorney General, the Minister of Defense, Minister of Legal Affairs, Minister of Justice, all speaking about matters that speak to our security, our legislature, our legislation. When you look at the Stand Your Ground laws, and you see how many ministers that have that legal background that are engaging in community and constituency consultations. We see where the ministers of planning and the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Trade are also working together to be able to build some and to investigate some level of where we are, ascertain where we are financially, where we can go, what the potential, what the can-be's are. We see an investigation and an assessment into the Petrotrin refinery, a committee established. We look forward to the report there, and what we have seen and heard the Minister of Energy speaking about possibilities in renewable energy. So the government has hit the ground running and work is happening. We may ask ourselves, therefore, then, for tangibles. And I think when a government and a party has been in opposition for 10 years, we have to understand that it's not just simply going to be as easy as, well, where there's prosperity for sure, and where a country has been prosperous, and we've seen, growth and national development and GDP increases and that sort of thing, where that is forthcoming, where there's prosperity in the land, it is easy for tangibles to be handed out, to be measured, to be seen, and that sort of thing. However, we are in a scenario where the current government is assessing, is analyzing, is looking at what it can do with what it has, making decisions. And that is where the damper comes in, because now we are going to talk about the existence of the losses, where jobs are on a hold, CPEP, URP, contract jobs, that sort of thing. And while it is something that is concerning, I don't believe that people are going to simply be out of a job. But it is not so easy as, let us find a replacement for them tomorrow. And for those listening will say, well, I'm not being fair to those who have lost their jobs, who have no answers, who don't know where their next meal is coming from, where their next salary is coming from. But the whole issue of restructuring is about it's a catch-22. If I didn't do it, what could have been? Now that I've done it, where we should be, and then there's the issue of should it have been done incrementally. But then there's the argument that to leave it to fester incrementally would have also been allowing a problem to exist without some level of control and measure. So at what point in time do you take the bull by the horn, flip this over, and turn it into something that is better, as the Prime Minister was saying, moving away from the word gangs and involving, that level of ghost gangs and all of those things. Yeah. So that's a catch-22 that I think is very urgent, pertinent, and given that today is the 11th of August and school is opening on the 8th of September, which gives us, give or take 4 weeks, there's going to be some level of anxiousness for those who are on the breadline, and that is where I think the government has to err on the side of caution.
Yeah, and let's speak to that, the dollars and cents, the more or less ability for us to generate income. Of course, we have seen certain fiscal policies with the repeal of the TNT Revenue Authority. You're seeing the tax rate, the suggested, at least the increase in the TNTEC rate, it's on a back burner. We heard from the minister last week that's not going to happen. Is there anywhere in the conversation from the ministers or even the Prime Minister as to how we're going to generate income, create new markets, and keep the economic wheels turning? You've heard that conversation just yet? You've seen anything that makes you optimistic and enthusiastic?
I've been listening to the Minister of Trade, and especially when he was talking at TIC, and the Minister of Trade has a lot of ideas that can be brought to the table, but I think those ideas, in order to fast forward it, there are certain agencies that needs to be operational. So for example, we stopped hearing much about state boards getting appointed. And I think one of the critical aspects in a multi-level governance system, after government, after parliament, after ministers are appointed, the state entities are the next important thing on the next level, as well as the foreign missions and our ambassadors, because that's what they're there for, to push that drive towards opening Trinidad into the world. Trinidad is open for business. Trinidad and Tobago is open for business, and that we are going to welcome the opportunities for foreign direct investment for those who are interested in doing business with Trinidad and Tobago. So, for example, I read the article where ExxonMobil is coming back into Trinidad after 20 years of hiatus. So the conversation is there. I think the conversation needs to be brought to the forefront, and there are minds that are existing within the framework of the UNC and within the periphery of the UNC, economic minds that are going to be part of that, that should be, I should say, part of that thrust towards foreign direct investment, putting Trinidad and Tobago on the market internationally and saying, listen, new government, new Prime Minister, new mandate, we are open for business. And I think the faster the government continues with that conversation and takes it to the next level, I think we will be going in the right direction. I forgot to mention that part of that, the whole new dimension to governance is the inclusion of Tobago, and the fact that the Chief Secretary enjoys a good conversation and a good relationship with central government is a plus for Tobago. And Dr. Mohammed,
let's take a pin there, because obviously there were rumors, or at least there were echoes within the political corridor, but that relationship was already established even before the Prime Minister got into office. And I say so based on the Chief Secretary's rebuke. He rebuked when the People's National Movement would have called the state of emergency back in December, and all of a sudden he decided that, well, you know, let's give it a chance. He even, matter of fact, inside The Guardian this morning, and again, I'm not holding no brief at all for the last administration, but I'm just showing where people change their argument based on who is at the driver's seat, or who is in the driver's seat. And I'm seeing that he says, good off start, but budget will be the big test. And that's his statement also when he would have given his assessment via the first 100 days. Again, I go back. Do you think there would have been some kind of prearrangement, some kind of understanding prior to the Prime Minister coming into office?
Well, you see, the thing about it is, the same could be said about me, because I said at the announcement of the last state of emergency under the former administration, I call it an act of desperation. And the context is very important for us to be able to put forward a good argument. You can't tell me that after 10 years in office and an overwhelming call and cry for there to be measures in place to deal with crime and criminality, whether it be legislation, whether it be a state of emergency earlier in the terms of office of the former administration, whether it had been a joint kind of patrol, whether it had been something innovative in security, the inclusion of minds like the former, and I hold no brief in either, former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith and others that are experts in crime, that would have been able to give the former administration ideas and perspectives as to how we can deal with the situation. Now, the same could be said to any one of us that said back then that it was an act of desperation, because the reason I would have said that it was an act of desperation is because we were coming down to the end of a 5-year term, and we had become frustrated with the level of crime in this country that people were facing in terms of home invasions, murders, kidnappings for ransom. Kidnappings had become a thing again, and those things make citizens very wary, and persons who are interested in doing business with a country very, very wary as to what is the state of affairs, what is its international reputation, regional reputation, and is it good to do business with that nation, given its high level of crime and criminality against not only citizens, but persons who are involved in business. So, and the fact that that state of emergency came such at the timing of it, obviously the government, that former administration had reached a point in time when they were seeing that there was a finish line, they were seeing that there was going to be a bell to be rung, and they were in a mode where it is as if they were in crisis and they were looking at any opportunity to redirect themselves in order to win favor with the people, in order to get back in government. This case, I mean, we've had, and I'll give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, I was in Tobago, and I was in the presence of a very distinguished lady on the island, and she said to me that the Honorable Prime Minister is enjoying a period of goodwill by the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And it's a goodwill that comes after 10 years of frustration and not seeing results and not getting answers and getting responses that sounded as if we were children getting buffed by an angry parent, an abusive parent. And there was no reason for that level of relationship between government and country, between Prime Minister and people. And the response was, we're at a stage where we have become so frustrated with what was that we are now breathing a sigh of relief, and whether the Prime Minister deserves to have that goodwill from the people, that where she's right, she's very, very right. And even if she's wrong, she's still right. That's to tell you that our country and our people are prepared to give this Prime Minister an opportunity to continue the conversation that she started with having with us, and that once there's an explanation that tells us why we're doing it, the purpose, what we're doing, when we're going to do it, for how long we're going to do it, once we can answer those key questions, then it seems to us that those of us that are observing the population, they are prepared to give the Prime Minister the opportunity to do what is necessary in the best interest of the country.
And speaking about the Prime Minister, No, go ahead. I'll let you make the final point there because
therefore, the communication. Once communication continues to be consistent between the people and the government and the Prime Minister and her population, and the questions that are needed to be asked are answered, then I think she will continue to, and I believe she will continue to enjoy the goodwill of the people.
Indeed, and in all fairness, I must say the Prime Minister, I can safely say from I'm an observer, just like everyone else, you know, looking on from the sidelines, we have seen clearly a different approach. Yes, I had some concerns in the earlies via her position of working at home and not coming into Port of Spain. I know that was a whole scenario dealing with Whitehall and the, I guess, the integrity of diplomatic center and all that, but that's a different discussion for a different day. We could safely say she seems to have a greater hold on the personalities within the cabinet, because I recall the likes of Mary King, Minister of Planning. I recall people like Colin Paratap, Minister in the Ministry of National Security. She had to do some early dismissals during her first tenure. So far, all hands on deck, everyone who would have been given a position is still in that said position, and it seems to me that this is a different approach, a different Kamala Persad-Bissessar, at least from the outside looking in. What's your assessment of her performance thus far?
Okay, that's a very good observation, and I think it's a very critical one to take into consideration. And
you think she would have learned? She would have learned in a major way from the first time.
Oh yes, I mean, having had the office for the first time, fresh out of, you know, she'd never had the office. We had never held the office before. So the freshness of the office, the newness of the office, understanding how to be in the driver's seat, comes with a level of how can I say it? Learning, training wheels, having, you know, getting a feel of how things are done, and then losing it, and then having that time period where I mean, take the speech. I go back to the first speech, right? This first speech tells us a lot about where we are, why we are where we are, how we are where we are, and what to expect out of her. And that's something we must always revert to. That initial speech that she took when she took the oath of office as Prime Minister is not only instructive, it's directional. And it's if people, those that are ministers, those persons who have been selected to be ministers, whether by virtue of members of Parliament or Senate, should always remember the conversation that the Prime Minister had with us as a country and as a people when she wore the pink suit, the pink outfit when she took the oath of office. And if for any second, any lapse in time or in thought, persons seem to be getting ahead of themselves by hubris, they need to revert to that speech, and they will understand how we got where we are and how the Prime Minister arrived to where she is, the years and what she would have personally gone through as a person, as a woman, as a female politician, as a leader, and use it to guide their thoughts going forward. The integrity of the office and the mandate at hand. The Prime Minister is on a mandate for legacy, and how she creates that legacy is going to be something that can change the landscape of our political theory and our political ideology. And we may have to find the right term to coin her leadership by the time she's finished. And therefore, the Prime Minister is within her right, as Prime Minister, head of the cabinet and head of the government, to take the decisions that she believes is necessary, that she believes is in the best interest of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and which will provide Trinidad and Tobago with the vision of peace, prosperity, and security that she wants for all of us. So let us give her the opportunity to chart that way forward, and let us not forget that she's still in charge. And you're very right when you said that she did, in fact, have to do certain things that the population would not necessarily understand, especially when there's a transition of power from one party to the other, from one Prime Minister to the other, as it speaks to sensitive spaces like the office of the Prime Minister, Whitehall, Diplomatic Center, whatnot. I don't think it was ever going to be a point where the Prime Minister was going to be permanently working from home, but we needed to give her the opportunity to do what needed to be done.
Let me ask, in terms of the first 100 days, I know within the politics there's always the discussion of continuity of succession planning, passing the baton, as it were. It's never an easy matter. Sometimes the reins need to be taken. But nonetheless, in the minute that remains, Do you see or feel that process is happening? You see anybody leading the way in that regard, stepping out and taking that particular mandate? Just about a minute, if you could put it nice and tight
I
for me.
I would say it like this, Phil. There's a leader, there's a prime minister. She is very well and able. She's doing the job effectively. Give her the chance to chart her way forward. Give her the opportunity to chart her legacy, one that I believe will be a strong one. And whenever that time comes, yes, a leader will arise. And the people, if hasn't already started seeing that person, will see who that person is in time. It will come naturally.
Dr. Mohammed, as always, sincere thanks. Hopefully we get a chance to discuss Guyana and Jamaica whenever we
yes,
open up again with the political
Very
discussion.
much so.
All the best.
Have a good week, Jason. Take care.
Same to you. That's it there in terms of, we continue with our analysis of the first 100 days of the new administration. We will get into that discussion later on in the week with more personalities within the politics. Let's take the pause. We come back.
Welcome to Food Basket's Hyperactive Fitness Club in Arima, where achieving your goals is our #1 priority.
Hyperactive Fitness, baby, that's the place to go.
Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Dark, strong British blend to give you a good morning boost. Or Tetley decaf, all of the antioxidants, none of the caffeine. Losing weight or staying healthy your thing? Try Tetley green tea. Get the vitamins to boost your health with Tetley super teas. Or calm down with Tetley chamomile. Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Tetley, a tea for everyone.
Love the flavors you get with Tetley, a tea for everyone. Tetley tea.
Distributed by AMCO, a subsidiary of Ansa McCall.
Did you know that many girls still lack access to period products and miss up to a year of school? Together we can spread the word and change that reality. For every pack of Always you purchase, we donate a pad to girls in need. Help us empower the next generation to rise, learn, and be the best expression of herself at her full potential. Always.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
4 minutes moving up to 7 o'clock. Up next, your daily health tip complements Omega XL.
The Daily Health Tip, brought to you by Omega XL, where health is wealth.
Ever pondered how remarkably adaptable our brain is and how diverse circumstances can reconfigure its structure and function? This process is called neuroplasticity, a symbol of our brain's resilience and adaptability. Whether it's dealing with PTSD or partaking in calming meditation, our brain can transform its makeup. Neuroplasticity is key in showing our brain's remarkable versatility. Now let's delve into how these conditions alter the brain's landscape. Emotional trauma from post-traumatic stress disorder overactivates the amygdala, impacting the prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus, leading to emotional reactions and memory problems. Strokes disrupt brain blood flow, impacting speech and muscle control. Alcohol use disorder affects the hippocampus, creating memory issues. Alzheimer's disease interferes with neuron communication, causing memory loss. Migraines affect brain matter due to nerve sensitivity. Brain injuries from concussions cause lasting damage. Bipolar disorder arises from neurotransmitter imbalances, causing mood swings. Multiple sclerosis scars nerves due to immune system attacks. ADHD affects attention network's function. Despite these challenges, there's hope. Activities like meditation increase gray matter, reducing inflammation. Regular exercise improves blood flow and brain cell growth, enhancing cognition. Indeed, our brain is not a static entity, one constantly changing and adapting to different conditions. While some conditions are beyond our control, we can foster brain health. Mindfulness meditation, regular physical exercise, and dietary supplements can enhance cognitive functions. They improve focus, memory, and mental stamina, providing essential nutrients for your brain. Striking a balance is key. One should not overshadow the other. Your choices significantly impact your brain health. Every choice you make can contribute to a healthier brain.
The Daily Health Tip, brought to you by Omega XL, where health is wealth.
Give thanks as always. Let's head across to the 7 a.m. news update, and we come back with your calls after 7. See you soon.
Same great Cricks that's in all your shops. Shop all your shops. Fresh new look, delicious to see. Look so good, delicious to see. With toppings on top of time, I'm real hungry.
Yeah, boy, real hungry.
Cricks, new pack is a hit. Best food, yes, I know sick. Ready for the short thing to fix your mix? Just reach for the new pack. Reach for your Cricks. Get your Cricks today. New look, same vital supplies.
It's a beautiful day at the Oval. And opening the bowling from the Palm Grove end is Sean Bishop. And here he comes charging in. Right arm over the wicket. Powell takes a huge swing. Richardson is under it. Whoa! That was a spectacular catch. Big things ahead for this new crop of youngsters. The future is bright.
Good morning, I'm Suni Gray with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC radio network. 18-year-old Adrian Nima and his 36-year-old friend Ronald Mungru of Vista Bella were killed just after 1 Sunday morning when their car flew off the Solomon Hochoy Highway, hitting a tree in Charleville, Chaguanas. Adrian's grieving parents, Lindsay and Barry, say the friends were drinking before the accident, but a neighbor believes a flat tire caused Rondell to run off the highway. His godmother, Sasha Ali, says Adrian's parents did not want him to go out, but he ignored them.
Sometimes not listening to parents is what gets you into trouble. You might think you have the world of friends, but sometimes those friends are really not your friend.
The Uriah Butler Highway was the site of a fatality just after midday on Sunday. Nugus Clausel of Carapo was killed while crossing the eastbound lane. Police say he was crossing with his wife when he was struck by a white Hilux. He died at the scene. Speaking to CNC3 News, Police Road Safety Coordinator Brent Batson expressed concern about the fatalities.
Recklessness and unfortunate poor decision-making and chance-taking seems to be permeating back into the driving culture. As such, we will continue to sustain our enforcement efforts and increase it where possible, especially with the use of technology, which we hope to be deploying soon. But we need the public support. We hope persons, really wake up and realize how fragile the human body is, how fragile life is.
The National Council of Indian Culture has appointed Surajdev Mangru as its new president, following the death of Senator Dhirub Timal on August 3rd. The NCIC says Mangru has served the organization for nearly 30 years and was the council's vice president. Mangru says he intends to build on Timal's work by advancing youth development and enhancing cultural awareness. On Wednesday, Mangru spoke at Timal's funeral, where he called for the former senator to be given the nation's highest award. The NCIC says it looks forward to a new chapter under his leadership. Those were your 7 a.m. headlines. We'll have another news update at 8 a.m. on the TBC Radio Network.
The biggest annual dancehall concert is back.
Yo, Trinidad.
Magnum Explosion. Summer's Day. We head to the Queen's Park Savannah Saturday, August 16th with a brand new cast of international superstars. Lady Lava, Baker, Amani, 450, Molly Don, Skilly Bang. Tickets available at frontlineticketing.com. Cache stores nationwide. Extra Food Supermarkets. Ultimate Car Care St. Augustine. Big Life Apparel Store. New Wave Stores. Fifth Street Market, Ariapita Avenue. Marco Polo, Cipriani Boulevard. 519 Restaurant C3 Center. Fitz by Britt St. James. And P2 Lust Auto, Lady Young Road.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488, 701-6680, 728-6786, or visit our website to order.
So welcome back. It's hour number 2. World Steel Pan Day, by the way. Today, the 11th of August, 2025. Also today, it's Juve morning in Grenada. The Jab Jab playing a mass right now in Carona, well, on the Caronage in St. George's. Good morning to our friends who are in the Spice Mass experience out there in beautiful Grenada, the Spice Isle of the Caribbean. Let's start to Freeport. Open forum time. Freeport, you're live.
Hi, good day, Jason Williams.
I'm not hearing Freeport, guys. Let's get Freeport on the system.
Jason?
Good morning, Freeport.
Jason, are you hearing me now?
Oh, fantastic. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Jason. Good morning, Jason Williams.
Good
right, cool. I heard about a report about my brand whereby I'm mostly putting pessimism in my domain. And I want to say something. Yes, I know it's truth. But I also believe that we can grow by learning where we went wrong and what we need to do to move forward. So I think in life, it's about growth. And it's about making improvements, becoming the better version of ourselves. I think, Trinidad, we have a lot of great things. As you stated, Jason, you are patriotic today. I believe in those sentiments that you share. And I fully believe that, yes, we could be patriotic, but we also have to take this step to how can we become better human beings, whereby we all harmonize together, we all in sync together, we all grow together. And by us truly understanding our worth inner, we can see our strength outside. And Jason, I support you heavily. You know that. You know I support you heavily. I'm a big supporter of yours. And all I can say, life is about growth. Life is about becoming better and greater. Once we understand that, we can heal and move forward. And this country needs a healing. Thank you very much, Mr. Williams.
Yeah, for sure. And he's so spot on. It's only with constructive criticism and deep self-analysis we're able to grow. You understand? We have to check ourselves from within. So well done. Thank you, Freeport. Let's head now to Central. Good morning.
A pleasant good morning, Jason. How are you?
Good, Central. Welcome again, man.
Welcome. Thank you. All right, so here's what. I would say that I am very disappointed, right, first and foremost. I am very disappointed at how some people are looking at this stand your ground legislation, right? It is not an opportunity, and I am glad that the government took the opportunity to make it abundantly clear that it does not apply to people living in the same house, because that by itself would give a green light to one person doing another person harm, right? So I am thankful to the fact that they would have cleared up that, right? And there are people, I am disappointed that there are people who are saying on the radio station that listen to me, that they're giving the all clear for people to kill other people. That is not the issue, Jason. The question is, right, is not the booby trap. The question is, why are you trying to break open into my house? Why are you trying to invade my home? Understand what I'm saying? That is the greater issue. The issue is not booby trap. You would not fall into the booby trap in the first place if you wasn't trying to break into my home.
Yeah.
Is that not correct?
No, you're spot on. You're spot on. And you know what? You're spot on, you know. And I must say, the public consultations, I think it's a good a chance to really get that feedback. This is one I'm definitely on board with, and I think obviously it is giving the citizens at least some layer of a fighting chance really with the criminal element. Yeah.
Right, good. And I would like to also say, right, to all those who are listening, right, relevant to your homes, right, you all defend yourself. Deal with them. Don't let them leave. Deal with them. Because you could be saving your neighbor down the road. You could be saving your brother. You could be saving somebody. And not to mention you're saving the court time. You're saving the jail time, everything. Right? Have a good day, Jason.
All the best, Central. Yeah, this stand your ground is one that many, you know, they just want that layer of protection. Obviously, there must be certain rules of engagement. But at the same time, it's better to have a license means of protection and do have to use it than you're in a scenario you need something and you don't have it. Let's head to Santa Cruz. Good morning.
Morning, Jason. Morning to the people of Santa Cruz.
Mr. Santa Cruz, go ahead.
Yes, well, let me say 100 days and counting. And the 100 days, I want to agree with the Minister of Public Utilities, and we have to be fair in terms of when people make decisions in the best interest of the people. And I think keeping the trust of the population is not increasing the WASA rate and the TNTEC rate. I think it was a very good idea, because at the end of the day, the people already facing many economic challenges. So by not increasing it, I think is a blessing for the people as such. And I believe the minister, and is what I keep saying, if you have a proper collection system, there's no need to increase the electricity rate, because the minister is correct. If people owe you about $7 billion, all you need to do is put a proper collection system in place, whereby if you don't pay, we'll disconnect you, or you would not get water. So there is no need to really increase the rate, but put a proper collection system in place. And I was disappointed with the new PNM chairman that was challenging the government in terms of not increasing the rate, like he wanted them to increase the rate when people are already facing economic challenges with a high cost of living. The challenge the government faces moving forward within the 100 days plus is the whole question of the rising cost of living and forex with respect to the tariff. That is where the government is going to face serious challenges, rising cost of living based on the tariff, and forex in terms of unable to export the amount of goods we are accustomed exporting. So this is Mr. Santa Cruz signing off. Good morning to everybody in Santa Cruz.
Good morning to you, Santa Cruz. Thank you so much. Very, I guess I could safely say a balanced assessment. Santa Cruz, based on his rhetoric over the years, I would have imagined he is, or at least he always seems to lean towards those in opposition at this point in time, but at the same breath still able to give mention and give a commendation to a policy decision by the current government. And many are actually happy with Mr. Padarat's, at least the cabinet's decision to at least put a hold for now on that TNTEC rate. So again, Santa Cruz, thank you. Let's head now to Faisal. I think Faisal on the line. Faisal, that's you?
Morning, Brother Jason.
Oh gosh, Faisal, always a joy, my brother, to hear you. Go ahead, man, I'm listening.
All right. Jason, I want Mr. Padarat to come and host a news conference with respect to the reopening of the CPEP program. Keep the nation informed. Give us something to work with. We can't have it hanging in the air. The grass growing, people at home unemployed. we condemn the PNM when they shut down Petrotrin, while the effort is being made to reopen the refinery. I think we need to treat with the CPEP program as urgent as yesterday, Jason.
Yeah.
I find me dragging me for too long on this thing.
Yeah.
Give the country something definite to work with. You can't tell me investigation. Tell me where we at with the investigation.
Well, remember they said 6 months, They said the new board is installed and they have to do the audit and it might take about 6 months. So if I was to kind of probably hold on based on what the rhetoric is thus far with a timeline, I would say probably in 6 months. But what people are going to do in 6 months, Faizabat?
Jason, we need to get periodic updates, Jason. We have to bring calm and peace to the country. Remember the people who are employed with CPEP are deemed to be the most vulnerable in society.
Yeah, the groundsmen and groundswomen of the country.
Correct, with much weaker mind that they would, in my opinion, they might be tempted to look the other way apart from working when the table has no food in the Jason.
Yeah, to have a child hungry, to have a child needing books, and you don't really have the means, it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
If you really want to pay the people while you're carrying on your investigation.
Well, I wanna tell you thanks again and again. You know, FISO, another fair and balanced assessment, because for those who look at the program, you know that FISO is definitely on the side of the current administration, but at the same time he can, and on this particular day, look at a policy decision and be critical and ask for better. You know, so FISO, I want to thank you. You know, a very, very fair and very strong commentary this morning. And just like you, FISO, I'm also waiting to see what's going to happen with CPEP, because the place overgrown. The place looking a kind of way, to be quite honest. And we need the folks back out there. But as the government says, in a sustainable and structured manner. How long will that take? Only time will tell. Final call. Diego Martin is on the line. Welcome.
Good morning, JW.
Hey, Diego, how are you going?
I'm good. Nice weather today. JW, 6 months is too long.
Yeah, it is.
For people to be unemployed. I remember in 2016, Minister Munilal criticized Camille Robinson-Regis for shutting down CPEP and saying, and look at the time, same time, July, August, and parents have books to buy, but it seems like the wrong things that, you know, the UNC seem to be following. I mean, but when in 2016, nobody went home, no CPEP person was sent home. But this government put so many people on the line, and they feeling an SOE will calm these people. JW, as Iowa George sang it, they better think it over and think it again. It is ridiculous. You can't put so many people on the breadline. And as Munilal said, July, August, when you have books to buy, the UNC come and do the same thing. Nah, man, that's something wrong with that. 6 months to put your house. Oh, gosh, please. JW, you have a blessed day. I have to make sure I'm clean in front by me, because we ain't seeing no worker out on the street.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Diego Martin. And I guess that is going to be part of our own responsibility, as Diego Martin mentioned, as until we get a definite word as to when the CPEP employees could be back on the field, in terms of that cleanup in your own premises, in front of your own residents, and I would imagine the community, it will now probably have to, I guess, rest on the shoulders of the residents, because there are lots of areas right now overgrown. And as we go further into rural areas, parts of the south, the southeast, deep country, it's even worse. Tall razor grass, bush overgrown. It's a shambles. We'll keep the discussion going, and what we're going to do now is pivot to, the feel good and the music and our national instrument. Indeed, happy World Steel Pan Day, Trinidad and Tobago and the wider world, and the president of Pan Trinbago joins me next as we get into full celebration mode inside this second hour for today, Monday. Mrs. Beverly Ramsey Moore joins me next.
Dust from the Saharan desert, over 6,000 kilometres away, travels across the Atlantic to our little island, filling the air we breathe with tiny dust particles that can trigger an inflammatory response when inhaled into the lungs.
Saharan dust travels far and triggers inflammation. Omega XL helps reduce it at the source. Support your body from within.
So I hear Beta Homes has the best kitchens.
You heard right. We have shaker style, modern Euro, and hardwood.
I like this one. Can I test it right here, right now?
Sure, but how are you gonna do that?
All right, you all, come inside. Are you ready?
Time's alive! Oh, a spice rack.
Soft closed door hinges. Oh, this countertop's nice, well.
It's hot, So, what do you think?
Well, this
100%.
is it. I'll take it.
Build the kitchen you love for less at Beta Homes, Carney or French Street.
Every day at the castle, long before we open our doors, our work begins. Our famous seasonings are mixed in advance. We select our fresh chicken parts and prep our delicious sides. Then we fire up the fryers and rotisserie oven. Everything is made with tasty local herbs, spices, and the same long-loved recipe since 1968. So, when you come in, remember that we uphold our culture and our taste. Just for you. We are your Royal Castle.
We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance, but we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza in Deba Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
At Bagwansing's, Port of Spain and Chaguanas, we are committed to providing quality products for all major building projects. Let's build together with rebars and beams, BRC coils and mats, RHS and angles, roofing sheets and purlins, lumber, plywood and MDF. Bagwansing's, building homes, building communities, building TNT for over 60 years. Bagwansing's, Port of Spain and Chaguanas, building value every day.
This Java bring the whole family to La Vega Estate, Trinidad's #1 family-friendly destination, open daily, including weekends and public holidays. La Vega is more than Trinidad's leading garden center. It's packed with fun for everyone. New this season, thrilling ATV tours for the adventure seekers, plus 2 large pools, fishing, nature trails, playgrounds, and more. Camp under the night sky. Make a booking for an unforgettable family getaway. Call or WhatsApp 714-5969 to plan your next adventure today.
Science calls it AMPK, your body's built-in system for burning fat, balancing blood sugar, and fueling energy. Berberine Plus naturally supports AMPK, helping you feel better, live better, be better. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus, powerful results naturally.
For World Steel Pan Day, it's only appropriate to have the president of Pan Trinbago, the governing body of the national instrument, Ms. Beverly Ramsey-Moore, on set. Let me extend happy World Steel Pan Day to you. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
I know you could have been. I know you're probably doing your media blitz, but I'm so happy that you're here in person too this morning to celebrate.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and I'm happy to be here. And let me also say happy Steel Pan Day to Trinidad and Tobago and to the wider world, pan all over.
Let me tell you, I'm watching from even as recent as we can. And, you know, I want to touch on the Trinidad and Tobago experience, but I was talking earlier on, I was looking at footage, I was telling the president, Grenada's Panorama, it was last Saturday at the National Stadium. Nice turnout. You're seeing the orchestras in full flight. And I'm saying, my goodness, because the Spice Mass going on right now, and they do their Soca Monarch the Friday and their Panorama the Saturday. Well attended, well subscribed. And while Grenada was having their Panorama, we had jamborees in Tobago, San Fernando, and Port of Spain. So it was a a real amazing weekend of pan right here. Well, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but even a little way north in Grenada.
Of course, you know, we have declared in Pan Trinbago that there is no season for pan. And so most persons focus on pan during carnival time. No. We say pan is community soul. And because we have all these steel bands around the country, I mean, in Trinidad and Tobago, we have over 300 steel bands, you know. Yes, some of them we need to reactivate, but we have a number of bands, and as long as you have bands, you have a panyard, you have a safe and sacred space where people gather.
You know, and I think that's what people sometimes forget, that it's more than just pan. There are people in the panyard who might not even be part of the orchestra, but it's a community.
That's right. That's right. We say pan is intergenerational. And so it starts with the young people. When they come, the parents come along. You know, we have several pan camps. We have over 30 pan camps going on in Trinidad and Tobago right now. This is what happens. The parents bring the children to the camp and they stay.
Yeah.
They stay. You know,
and even the parents get into their own little sense of network and community.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. And that is why one of the dreams that I have is to see the upgrade of panyards, where when parents come, one section go in there, do some parenting program with them. Because I have seen where in some panyards that we visit, sometimes, you know, there is drama, and you ask the children to get into a group, and when you ask them to do a little drama or come up with a play or something, and basically what I have seen is that the social issues of what happens in the community is what they demonstrate. All right? So you will see them demonstrating either domestic violence, you will see them demonstrating whether it's drugs or teenage pregnancy and all of that. And so there is so much social ills that we can treat with in the safe and sacred space of the panyard. I am so passionate about people development and using the pan as a tool for social, economic, cultural transformation.
You know, you took it to a different level there because, again, you know, you're talking about the panyard experience, and it is almost like our own indigenous theater where music, drama, you know, conversations, all this take place.
That's right.
You mentioned something soul. You mentioned just what soul you said?
Community.
Community soul.
Yes.
I love that. I love that.
It is community soul. Listen.
Who coined that? Another community soul. That really nice.
I have a social worker in Tobago by the name of Claudia Groom-Duke. I think I got that from her. She said, Ms. Ramsimo, or Beverly as she would call me, pan is community soul.
That is powerful.
Yes,
it is. It is. Let me ask, in terms of some of the celebrations on the cards, I know we had the Jamboree. I saw San Fernando would have been involved, Tobago and Port of Spain. I know today they must have activity going on.
Of course.
Yes,
so today's World Steel Pan Day, and we celebrate. We go back to the birthplace of the steel pan, behind the bridge. You know, you must pay tribute to your ancestors, whatever you want to call it. They would have started, you know, when you think about the magical sound, and when you think about persons like Winston Spree Simon, who it was said accidentally bounced upon this sound. And then there were those who would have moved forward in terms of the evolution, taking this old rusty drum and now turning it into a beautiful musical instrument that is accepted around the world. So we go back to Piccadilly, we go back to Duke Street, where we have a number of single pan bands that will be there performing from 1 p.m. At 5 p.m., we begin the ancestral walk from All Star Spaniard, Massey Trinidad All Star Spaniard, and we do that ancestral walk. Right, we have Tambu Bamboo, we have our Moko Jumbies, we have our African drums, we have our pan round the neck sides that will be taking us to Woodford Square. When we get to Woodford Square, we begin the official program. Our line minister is expected to deliver the feature address, and we are doing all this big celebration in collaboration with the Ministry of Community Development and Culture. And we have our steel pan ambassadors, BP and NGC, that will be providing support. So when you come to the square, You have our bands that will perform for you, but there are several booths that you can visit. The entire ecosystem, you will see them set up there, whether you're making pan cases, whether it's pan sticks, whether it's the instruments, whether the business of pan will also be there in Woodford Square.
Fantastic, and that is on the local front. I saw, I believe last week, Dane Gulston is going to be out there in New York, in Manhattan.
They are in Times Square.
Times Square?
Yes, because...
It happened already, or it's going to happen?
There were performances yesterday. Yes.
Right, so it actually happened, right?
Yes.
So it's on screen.
That's right.
Because I was actually thinking it was going to happen today, but it was actually yesterday.
So a number of... Well, listen,
Look at this Times Square, though.
Yes.
The heart of New York City, the heart of Manhattan. Beautiful, look at that.
Yes.
Who would have thought that?
You're telling me? You're telling me, listen, you see that day when the United Nations agreed and supported the resolution, I was sitting there, and that was indeed a moment I will never forget.
Yeah. Could you describe the emotion you felt physically? You could recall it?
I was so proud as a daughter of a pioneer. I was so proud because I thought about my uncles, one of them who was branded as a rogue and vagabond in a magistrate court. You know, as a steel pan man, you know, the long time badger, as they used to call them. So before you play a pan and you end up in the courthouse, you were branded as a rogue and a vagabond. And when I thought about that moment, to see pan before the world, and when the minister presented the resolution, and the question was asked at the end of it, do we have any more countries who would want to come on? Because remember, countries would have signed on before. They would have read the resolution and they would have signed on. But after it was presented, they provided another opportunity for those who are now hearing the presentation to support. And then you're just hearing ping, 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 and we move right up to 83 countries supporting that resolution. That was indeed a moment for Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, because I mean, steel pan is now the sound of the Caribbean, the sound of the world. You know, that was indeed a beautiful moment. And in addition to that, coming after that, where you had now our intellectual property office here in Trinidad and Tobago, working together with Pan Trinbago and the ministry, going to get the geographical indication. At least we lost the patent, but at least we have some intellectual protection that Trinidad and Tobago is the birthplace of the steel band. Nobody can take that away from us.
You know, I think of the continuity. I think of, you know, the opposition leader. It's in today's Guardian. She is suggesting here that she wants steel pan in every school. Now, I think it's a good call, but still there are forces within the country who will push back against that. And I think education is the best way to at least give the generation coming up, the unborn child, an opportunity to learn about the history, the cultural history. Is there any kind of conversation, any kind of collaboration, let's say between yourself, TUCO, all the governing bodies that keep the culture
preservation?
Preserve the culture, to have, let's say, some kind of cultural course within the school system, because for the life of me, every child should know who Winston Spree Simon is. They should know who Kitchener is.
Correct.
They should know who Sundar Popo is.
Correct.
You should know who Rashoti
Correct.
is. You need to know the contribution of these pioneers who shaped the sound of not only Trinidad and Tobago, but the region.
Correct.
Is there any kind of thought process in that regard so we can bring some cultural studies to the schools?
So the conversations are happening, because we definitely need to do more and to teach the history more in our schools. We try to do it at the panyards, because definitely it is not happening, and so this is a conversation that needs to go further with the Ministry of Education. We need to cherish, listen, when you think of the early days when the drum was banned, do you think it was only the African drum alone that was banned? It's all the drums. Whether it's African drum, whether it was Tassa, whatever it was.
They put a ban on every...
There was a ban on drums.
Because the drums used to talk, used to carry a conversation, yes.
Correct, and so there was a ban on the drums. But because we are people of rhythm and expression and soul, we had to find a way. And so a way was found, coming out of an old rusty drum, where we now have a beautiful chromed instrument. So it is the sound of Trinidad and Tobago, not of any one particular group. Look in Canada recently, Caribana. For me, it was an eye-opener. When I saw at Panorama in Canada, this is not really a black people thing.
Yeah.
It's a Trini thing.
Yeah,
because all the races came out.
Yeah.
Whether you was in the hijab or who was, the amount of persons that I saw.
I saw a pan orchestra last year in Calgary, West Coast of Canada, Alberta, because they have their Carry Fest, which is coming up this weekend, and there is a full-on steel band ensemble in Calgary. Because you think of Canada, you think East Coast, you think Toronto.
Of course.
But way 5 hours away to the west, there's pan.
Listen, this instrument is God-given. It is a gift to the world.
Yeah.
And I feel extremely pleased, passionate, and very happy about where pan is today. There is a resurgence, not only here in Trinidad and Tobago, because Trinidadians and Tobagoans, I want to thank you so much for your tremendous support. That's why I buy out the North Stand early o'clock, but I want to tell you all today that tickets are up for sale online. So don't wait until and then to attack the president that the North Stand is sold out. So there is a resurgence in the communities, all that support. It's amazing.
Well, let me say again, President, congratulations. And if you want to get the full itinerary concerning all the events, today, tomorrow for the World Youth Day, you can check out pantrinbago.co.tt, and you can follow them on the social media platforms to get the full lineup of events. Again, happy World Steel Pan Day, President.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's a blessing.
What a beautiful discussion. And we're going to continue. Bermuda is getting involved, and they have a very special steel pan inspired tin, right? And we're going to give you a chance to win it.
Of course.
All in keeping with the World Steel Pan Day celebrations. And to the end, we have a performance. See you soon.
Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Dark, strong British blend to give you a good morning boost. Or Tetley decaf, all of the antioxidants, none of the caffeine. Losing weight or staying healthy your thing? Try Tetley green tea. Get the vitamins to boost your health with Tetley super teas. Or calm down with Tetley chamomile. Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Tetley, a tea for everyone.
Love the flavors you get with Tetley, a tea for everyone. Tetley tea.
Distributed by AMCO, a subsidiary of Ansa Macau.
Established in 1984, Telecom Security Services is the best in cash in transit with our armored vehicles with impeccable record. Featuring 24-hour surveillance to protect our clients' valuables. This is asset security that's equipped and efficient. From a modern head office, we deliver quality and trust, mitigating risk. Operational excellence with highly trained and dedicated staff. The best, cost-driven security solution. Telecom Security Services.
Feeling drained? Struggling to keep up? It's time to take control of your wellness. On this episode of Wellness Unlocked, we're diving into the key nutrients your body needs for all-day energy and balance, with 100% or more of your daily essential vitamins, plus added chromium to support healthy blood sugar. This is complete wellness in a single soft gel. Join us as we uncover how small changes can make a big impact on your health. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on CNC3 and take the first step toward better health.
We know what our job entails. It's not only to inform you as an electorate,
or seek justice and truth from decision makers and those in positions of power. But it is to tell your stories as well, your struggles, your successes, to help and to inspire. You see, for us to be your guardians of democracy, we have to put you and your experiences at the center of everything we do. So we know exactly what our job is, and it's time to get to work.
Welcome the marketing manager there at Bermuda's Biscuits. He's on the Zoom line, and we have with us Kivan Maharaj. Hey, let me tell you, Kivan, you are representing a brand that is iconic. I mean, our steel pan is, globally recognized. It is iconic, but indeed, Bermuda is definitely part of the great conversation. And I'm so happy to see you all coming on board and bringing a unique item to trade to the market in recognition of World Steel Pan Day. Good morning to you and welcome.
Morning. Thanks for having me. And I agree. I'm happy to be representing what I would say, similar to what you said, one of the most iconic Trinidadian, Trinbagonian brands.
Indeed. Walk me through, the thought process. You all would have done lots of planning, lots of meetings to bring this to the trade. Just bring me through whose initial idea to bring this forward.
Well, actually, give you a history of what we've been doing with these limited edition SKUs. So 3 years ago, we took the initiative to launch what we call the History of Bermuda's tin. And that took the market by storm. It was a red rectangular tin. And then 2 years ago, we launched a Carnival tin. And we hired Kenneth Scott, who was a well-known local artist, to do some customized illustrations of traditional mask characters, so like the Mukujambi, the Blue Devil, and that did exceptionally well. Last year, I'm sure you would have seen it, we launched a Cricks truck tin, and again, did phenomenally well. So in last year's planning for this year, the team sat down, the brand manager for Cricks, myself, some of the sales team, and said, what can we do for 2025? And then the idea of the steel pan tin came about. And we wanted to do this thing really, really properly. So I'm sure you have your tin ready, but it's actually a special mold that we did out of China, who manufactures the tin that replicates a bass drum, basically.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Very, iconic. You consider Cricks. Cricks is, as they say, the vital, right? The vital supply is something that we have known for years. When did Cricks actually come to market? If we could just be a little Cricks history and we come back to the pen, to the
Actually, last year we celebrated 100 years of Bermuda's Biscuit Company. So Cricks is actually 101 years old. 101 years old.
Serious?
Yep. What? So, and Cricks was the first product that the company produced actually in wood burning ovens. And Cricks was actually distributed in steel oil drums. And that's where the connection with steel pan and Cricks really started.
Yes, I remember. I grew up I was a child in the 80s. I remember it had a big silver tin. And
yes.
You remember that? Yes. And so Cricks is 100 years?
101.
Well, 101. Wow.
Yeah. It started calling it salt biscuit.
Salt biscuit. And Cricks is something too that I've recognized. It's gone even beyond the borders of Trinidad and Tobago. What was the furthest market you all send Cricks to?
We're in North America, Canada. We actually try to go into markets that have the Caribbean diaspora, but we're working on taking it outside that. We're in Dominican Republic. Obviously, full Caribbean is the #1 cracker brand in the Caribbean. We're in Guyana, Suriname, and working on going extra regionally.
Wow. This is truly tremendous. What I'm happy about, Kivan, is that you brought not only just the information and the history of the brand, but some incentive for the callers. So what we want to do, we want to definitely get some callers in. I want you to stay with me on the line, probably. Well, I'll ask the question, and if you want to callers, you want to engage with Kevin, let him know, one of your Cricks experiences. I remember, let me tell you, see, Cricks on, I mean, the Cricks could go with anything and everything. So, I know anything. So I know those days growing up, it's been tremendous, and it still remains part of the family up to this day. Now, what I want to do is ask the question, what is the famous slogan for Cricks Biscuits? That's the first question, TNT. Give me a call, 624-8721, 627-8658. And with that answer, you are going to get yourself, let's put the tin up one more time. So, and again, you said this is limited edition, just a few?
Limited edition, I mean, a few thousand. Yes. But it's in the supermarket now and should be there. I mean, I would encourage the listeners and the viewers to get into the supermarket quickly because it's flying off the shelf.
Yeah.
But it will be in all supermarkets and will be there for the next couple of weeks.
Fantastic. Who's out there? Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Fantastic. Give me the famous slogan. We all know this, man. We know it like it's almost like clockwork.
Second Nathan. Yeah. Cricks Vital Supply.
That's right, the Vital Supply. I want you to stay on the line, man. What you like your Cricks with, partner? You gone already?
Nah, right there, man. Cricks and cheese, Cricks and peanut butter. That's the go-to.
That's your go-to. Fantastic. Well done, my brother. Stay on the line. And the final question, let's get the caller on again, 624-8721 and 627-8658. I'm going to ask this one in real time. I don't want nobody Googling it. All right. Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, partner, you're calling for the Cricks specialty tin, the collector's item?
Vital Supply.
That's right, it is the Vital Supply. But I want to ask you...
Made by Bermudas.
Made by Bermudas, I know that, yes. But I want to ask you, though...
Lemon snap.
But I want to ask you, though, how long has Cricks been in the business, in TNT?
101 years.
101 years. The man listening, Ivan. He's listening.
He's listening, yeah.
What you like? Caller, you win, you know?
Lemon snap, shortbread, cream sandwich, peanut sandwich.
Stay on the line now. Stay on the line. Stay on the line. Ivan, what makes your role there an exciting one? What's your big takeaway? What you feel really happy about going into the... it's Maloney Street, aunt, yes?
Maloney Street.
Right, because I have an aunt, Auntie Pat, Uncle Ken, they live on Bush Street right. South. So growing up, Lyman with my cousins Karen and Damien, we used to get that biscuit smell, bro. Yes. You know what it baking? It would be in the whole area and we would just smile. So I know the area quite well, I know the factory and I know it's an iconic space. But for you, coming into the space, what makes it exciting for you?
I've been in marketing for just under 20 years. But my real passion is local brands. I've done foreign brands, the distribution side of it. But I really love local brands and building local brands because to see like the limited edition SKUs, new products on the shelf across the Caribbean is really something that makes me proud. So that is what drives me every day coming to work.
Yeah, give thanks, man, and congrats, man. Let's put that limited edition pan up again. A couple thousands well out there, and when it's gone, it's gone. So go early, get this off the shelf, and this is one you keep. You definitely keep. You could put keys in this. You could put something in it.
Anything.
Yeah, when the Crick's done, you could definitely find a way to add this to the home decor. Congrats again. Say hi to the entire team for me, Kevin, and happy World Steel Pan Day to you.
Same to you and same to Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
That's right, Kevin Maharaj, the marketing manager there at Bermuda's Biscuits. As I mentioned as a child, by Auntie Pat and Uncle Ken. Listen, you get that smell there, the biscuits there, baking it. You understand? And it used to just light up the whole place so nice. So folks in Bush Street and Mont Lambert, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's take the pause. We come back and get into a performance. Neil Forbes, he joins me live to take us out in style. He's from the Desperado Steel Orchestra as we celebrate today, World Steel Pan Day. See you soon.
There's a powerful switch inside your body, AMPK. It tells your system to burn fat, balance blood sugar, and boost energy. Berberine Plus activates AMPK naturally, supporting metabolism, weight management, and healthy insulin function. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus, powered by AMPK, perfected by nature.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Some nights call for more than just a slice. At Rizzoni's, we serve pizza the way it was meant to be. Brick-fired, bold, and brought out fresh, again and again. This is all you can eat, Rizzoni style, where the pizzas come to you. Crisp crusts, rich sauce, melty cheese, every round with new toppings, new flavors, and no limit. Every Friday from 4 p.m. Join us at Movie Town, Fiesta Plaza, Port of Spain, or C3 Movie Town, San Fernando. So go ahead, stay for that next slice. We'll keep them coming.
Welcome to ABC Doors and Windows, TNT's #1 destination for the best quality and widest variety of doors and windows. Enhance your space with our premium wooden, steel panels, fiberglass, and steel security doors, complemented by our aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows. Shop for the best quality and service at ABC Doors and Windows. Visit our impressive showroom at 1 Chancatrace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to get started. Trust ABC for a better choice.
If you missed Season 5 of Spellbound, all episodes will air again on CNC3.
These kids really know how to spell.
KIOSK. APPRENTICE. MARRIAGE.
Spellbound. This spells magic.
Featuring your boy, Cast the Illusionist.
Spellbound. This spells trouble.
On CNC3.
Tune in on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1:10 p.m.
Asafa Powell, the Jamaican sprinting icon who shattered the 100-meter world record and redefined the limits of human speed, reveals the relentless drive that fuels his journey.
You got XL? This is good for your giants, then.
Try Omega XL. It works.
Shop Southern Food Basket Anniversary Specials. Lucette potatoes 5 pounds for $17.95. Green cabbage $7.95 per pound. Gala apples 10 for $20. Clorox 1 gallon $26.95. Snuggle bathroom tissue 12 pack $19.95. Bright Wash laundry detergent 900 grams 2 for $19.95. With every $300 you spend at any Southern Food Basket, you can qualify to win a brand new Suzuki Grand Vitara. Much more prizes to be won, including Caribbean getaways, staycations, and shopping sprees.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
A nice common subject that's coming up now is neck pain, and we're seeing it more and more often.
The important thing is to look at your posture, ensuring you've got a good posture.
You could get some tumors in the neck as well too that could be causing neck pain as well.
I'm seeing a lot of neck pain due to device use. So your mobile phones, tablets.
The distribution of your symptoms in your lower limbs doesn't always mean your lower back is your focus, but you could also have problems in your neck.
Tune in on CNC3 this Friday at 8 p.m.
The detergent smells nice while washing, but when you use the new Downy Intense fabric softener, With its new multi-capsule fragrance, it releases an intense scent that lasts twice as long. With the new Downy Intense, you'll enjoy a rich and delightful fragrance that keeps you feeling fresh 24/7.
I mean, listen, we can have World Steel Pan Day without the instrument making an appearance on the set. Neil Forbes joins me from the Desperado Steel Orchestra. Neil, happy World Steel Pan Day, buddy?
Yes, same to you.
When I went to the pan yard for the first time for school panorama, that was my introduction to pan. I tried the tenor. Everybody wants to play tenor, but you see the roll pattern, I couldn't get a roll at all. So I end up on the bass, you know? But it was still a joy, man. When did your journey with pan start? At what age?
It started at age 13.
Wow, and you never stopped?
Never stopped.
Fantastic, man. Well, you know what? I don't want to keep you back at all. I know you come to represent, so take it away.
Come on.
World Steel Pan Day, the sound of the sweet pan, right here on the Morning Brew. Enjoy. Hey, listen, well done again, my brother, well done. I want to say, again, congrats to you, the whole Despers team. Of course, a good friend of mine, Kevin, is looking on, the Caribbean Airlines family. You know, PAN is something that, whether it's via our national, well, CAL or however we get it there, whether it be via air, via boat, this instrument has been able to take the globe. I was telling the president, I saw the Steel Band Festival. There's a music and steel band festival in South Africa, you know.
In South Africa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's news to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's tremendous. So again, we'll probably look to pull the curtains down though, but nonetheless, I must say, congrats. Lots of events happening, not only today. There's stuff for the young people tomorrow. We have the calendar of events via the Pan Trinbago page. And are you one of those like frontline men that when you're rolling and like you're on competition, like there's always a certain expression you see from band players, total ecstasy. Men up on the toes. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Happy World Steel Pan Day, man.
Yeah, man. Happy World Steel Pan Day.
As we look to wrap things up, we're going to head across to New York City, Manhattan to be exact, for the action at Times Square yesterday. We take you out in style. Have a great one, TNT. Thanks for tuning in. God spare. I'm back for more tomorrow. And we leave you with the sound of the steel pan in New York City yesterday. Enjoy.
Brew is brought to you by Omega XL. Live long, stay strong.